Hello. Why is my hair fucked? Hope you're doing well, guys. Right. Hey, Litz. How you doing? It is... I think it's fought done by you, isn't it? Cold Corn. I think Cold Corn's done by yourself. Nice, small fort, shall we say. Yes, it is yours. I thought it was. I thought it was yours. It's all good though. I'm absolutely don't know where to begin. Because I walked through it earlier, but yeah. I was kind of interested in that it's got like a 2-level wraparound. I think that's like my most like, yeah. Anvil? I mean, I can switch over to Anvil if he wants me to. I mean, we can check out Anvil if you want. That's absolutely fine as well. It took a little while to figure out. Yeah, I can imagine. Did Kyle really say Anvil? Where? Where there? Oh, I can. I just need to restart the CK, that's all. As long as Dan's okay with it and Kyle's okay with it, I'm okay with doing Anvil. Doing some of Anvil if well, let me just message him. Just yeah, that's what I've just asked them both. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought, to be honest. Yeah, I've just messaged Dan. I've just messaged Dan, just being like, just to be 100% sure, because that's why I was like, I'll do a fort in the forest, but yeah. Let me just be sure. Okay. Hey, Glitz, thank you for the sub. Very much appreciate it. Oh, hello guys. How's it going? How's it going? Okay, okay. Hey, how's it going? How's it all going? Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for the sub, Kyle. Appreciate it. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Right, so I hear that Kyle said that I am going to be Navmeshing Anvil. Is that correct? If it is, yep, so that is correct. Okay. Okay, we can do a bit of Anvil. We can do a bit of Anvil. Get a sneak peek at Anvil then. Okay, let me close out of this quickly. And let me load my plugin up. Dan said it's okay. Come on. The CK takes a little while to close, okay? Okay. Right. Oh my god, there's so many follows right now. Okay. Let me load it up and then I'll thank a few people. Imperial City? Hell no. Hell no, that is A bit in the future. That is a bit in the future. Anvil, come on in. I can only go as fast as the CK loads, Kyle, okay? Okay. How long since you did a stream? About a month. It's only been about a month. But Kyle convinced me, shall we say. Kyle convinced me to do some dev work. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. Right, let me thank a few people. Oh my god, there's so many. There's too many. Leslie Macron, Uscript, Imrir, Lord Anchorage, Shishiklora, Guitarist on Bass, Brashi, Greaseball, Dwemer, Shy Posh, Bubble Wings, Bornsum, Real Dokesh, Nomad Sky, Shrinlin, Devastate Fish, Deviate Fish, The Serhans, Goopy, Grathorn, Haley 97, Crucible, Anubis, Peritogian. I'm so sorry. I'm bad with names. I'm really bad with names. Icarus, Nabothen, Sanguine Blade, Kelioth, and Kind Farming. Thank you for the follows. Very much appreciate it. I think I pretty much got them. I'm really bad with names. I cannot read when love nor money. Okay, so we're going to Anvil, are we? Let me switch. Let me switch. Anvil. I wasn't sure whether I was allowed to show Anvil yet, so that's why I was in somewhere else. But yeah, here's a good. I mean, no. Right, let me switch to 9 as well. We're here to watch you nab some mesh. Nice. Nice, nice. Worth a shot. Yeah, it was worth a shot, but I'm not going to show you the Imperial City. That is for sure. Right. Side of Flame and Daniel Plays, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you all for the support. I hope you all enjoyed ModCon. I hope you all enjoyed ModCon. And Kyle, thank you for the raid. Very much appreciate it. If you haven't followed Kyle already, what are you doing with your life? Go follow him right now. I am Carter Tom. I am the Navmesh department lead for Skyblivion. And welcome on in. And I guess we'll start right by the I think we showed a screenshot from this exact location, which is right here. There will be some gaps, so don't worry about it, but I guess this is your first sort of look, quote unquote, at Anvil, as made by Heavy Burns, who was just co-hosting ModCon with the Skyblivion ModCon stream with Kyle. So go follow Kyle and Heavy Burns. But yeah. So I have been working on the Navmesh for Anvil. It's coming along very nicely. Hey Caro, how's it going? And yeah, well, I guess we'll go by the main gate to Anvil. So this is the main gate as you walk through from the direction of, I think it's like Such and Lord Rad's estate. Let me switch the vision boxes on. Hey, thank you for giving out a sub, and thank you Real Dope Crash for the sub as well. Very much appreciate it. Daniel Plays as well. And we've actually achieved a hype train as well. That's a first time for everything. First time for everything. Top tier VG as well. Ooh, the water is a lot closer to the walls. So, caveat. The dock area is not finished. Just saying, anything around the water towards the gates is not finished. So, we will be showing off Anvil properly in-game at a later dev diary. But for now, we're not going to be. Let me just load up OBS on the screen. There's been some trouble. So yeah, we'll work on this cell right here for Anvil, which is right by the main gate. I think it goes up to about here. So this area right here. It's outside. Yeah, whose house is this? This is Anvil Lies quality merchandise. So it's actually the general store in Anvil. But yes, I guess you're here to watch me place a bunch of triangles. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that in a second. Well, that's it just keeps going. The follow announcement. Holy shit! I very much appreciate it, and thank you for the 100 bits. I really appreciate that as well. Right, I guess let's get cracking. And you're pressing save already. I haven't even started, and you're pressing save already. Let's turn off the grass as well. But yeah, if you know how to Navmesh, yeah, submit an application on our website, and I will personally take a look. We do want people with skills that know the creation kit, so we'll only accept or look at applications that've got proof of skills. So completely missed Kyle's stream. Oh damn. That sucks. But at least it will be available on YouTube for you to watch later, Caro. Right. This is where I completely forget how to do any work because it's been so long. Can you give me a layman's explanation of what you're doing? So what this is it's a grid of essentially red triangles. The red triangles, in the best way possible, it tells the NPCs where and where they cannot walk. So for example, if the triangles are going through a tree or something similar to that, then the NPCs will try and walk straight through that tree. It's basically a big pathing grid. Skyrim does have a way to automatically generate it, but unfortunately, we never set up the assets in quite the right way to be able to auto-generate it. So we're having to place all of these triangles ourselves, and I'm sure when we get round to the Shivering Isles, we will probably do it a bit more automated potentially. We'll see about that. But we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Without this, the NPCs would just sit there and do nothing, essentially. That's the best way I can describe it, without going into too many technical details. But the NPCs do gravitate to what, like, if they're standing doing nothing, they do tend to gravitate to the center of the triangles. So yeah, it's not the most glamorous of jobs to do on Skyblivion, but it is arguably one of the most important because okay, I've just been plunged into darkness. One sec. So, because without this, none of the quests would work. So, yeah, it's like one of the most important jobs in a way. Yeah, who turned off the lights? It was Alexa. I really need to fix that thing. It's so annoying at times. But yeah, that's essentially what we do. If like later on, when I've finished Navmeshing Anvil, I'll go through and create specific paths through Anvil by turning on the pathing flag for certain triangles, and that basically means that NPCs will try and stick to those paths as much as possible, essentially. But for just the first pass of Anvil, this is absolutely fine. Navmesh's young son, hero of modern. I appreciate that, but even though it is an important job, I still think like the people who work on quests and like script the quests are like wizards. Like, I know how to code a little bit, but what they do to untangle the coding mess that got made from the what do you call it? The conversion is absolutely nuts. I wouldn't even know where to begin on some of that. Papyrus is a bit difficult to learn. It's similar to every code, like sort of code. If you know one code, it's very easy to pick up another. But yeah, Papyrus itself is not inherently difficult, but it's one of those things that it's like it's very hard to master, I guess, is the best way. It's a bit like what we're doing, which is Navmesh. It's very easy to learn, but to do it right is very hard. Or to know how to do it right is quite hard. That's the way I would say it, at least. Because with good Navmesh, you want to have as many equal triangles as possible. Obviously, there's certain areas that you can't get that, but yeah. But I still think out of everybody, like there's no game without quests. There's no game without any of us, so it is really a whole team effort at this point to get this polished off and into everybody's hands as soon as possible, really. But yeah, there is some areas of Anvil that are not finished, so if you do notice anything, like I'll show you one thing very quickly, like this, which is currently floating off the ground. It is a development city, so it's not fully finished, and it is being worked on by Heavy Burns to get it, and Shadow, who is the 3D artist who is helping bring Anvil to life. But most of the iconic assets are in their place, for the most part. But Anvil is one of those cities that has very much been redesigned from the ground up. It's still got a similar shape, from what I can see at least. I don't deal with the level design, so I could be... Take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, for the most part, like the general vibe of the cities are generally pretty similar. But they're not going to be unless you're looking at Coral. Coral, for example, is very much a city that was worked on and worked on in almost a one-to-one fashion. So it's almost a one-to-one carbon copy of the original. How many still need Navmeshing? I haven't got a total or a percentage that I can really give. But I would say, like, from a finalized perspective, I would say from what I keep track of. Yeah, it's definitely not 100%. I do have to admit, but from what I keep track of, oh, hello, oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. It's been so long since I've streamed that I'm actually a bit nervous. It's exactly similar to what Kyle was saying on his stream, that when you don't stream for a while, coming back is always a bit of a... It's always a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, almost. But yeah, going back to progress, so in terms of finished regions, most of Blackwood is... the Navmesh is finished in Blackwood. In the Clovian Highlands, where Kyle was walking about, it's mostly finished as well. In... Let me get rid of that. In the Great Forest, I think we're getting close to being finished in terms of Navmesh in the Great Forest. So yeah, there's various states that the Navmesh department is currently in but we are getting ever closer every day. So yeah, this is all pathfinding. So where you can see red triangles is where NPCs can walk. Where there's no triangles, like on top of here, NPCs can't walk up here, so they won't be able to path to that. So yes, it's essentially pathfinding that we're currently doing. At the end of the day, if NPCs could see, if NPCs could quote unquote see, this is all they would see. They would just see a whole city with red triangles. Did you have triangles in the planter? No, they wouldn't get stuck, but they would try and walk straight through the planter, which obviously we don't want. Hellish for them, pretty much. We just don't want, obviously, any pathing issues and NPCs walking directly into planters. Perscom and 007. Thank you for the follows. Very much appreciate it. I hope everybody has enjoyed ModCon. I hope you you enjoyed the Fingers of the Mountain and the Killing Fields quest gameplay video that we released a few days ago. And I hope you enjoyed Kyle's walkabout of the Clovian Highlands and the Great Forest region from ModCon itself. What's and Griffin, thank you for the follows as well. Very much appreciated, guys. So what we're going to be doing now is, the way doors work is wherever the triangle is, it will get, when we finalize a cell, this triangle will go green, which is the door marker. So as soon as an NPC hits a green triangle, they can actually enter that building. If you make a big, large triangle and saying this triangle goes to way over here, essentially, as soon as the NPC hits this triangle over here, they teleport straight into the building. Which is something that we don't want. So we try and make the door markers and the triangles as small as possible and as close as possible to the doors, so that we don't get teleporting NPCs going into in and out of buildings, because it does look a bit weird, I will say. It does look a little bit strange. Just a little bit. So I have navmeshed a lot of the Great Forest and a lot of the Westweald. I also navmeshed the entirety of Coral. I have navmeshed the entirety of Leowin. And a bunch of other locations, but yes, yeah. So I've navmeshed a lot more, and yeah, I mainly QA a lot. I do a lot of QA on Navmesh now these days. Okay, I don't want to Navmesh on top of that rope. I think we are good on that. It's definitely not a cult, okay? It's definitely not a cult. Me who's better than Pental would invest. Yeah, pretty much. Working through my playthrough of Vanilla Oblivion, you can see what Skyblivion. There is a lot of changes. There is a lot of changes in Skyblivion. It's not just a one-to-one remake of Oblivion. So if you're expecting that, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Let me turn the markers off. But yeah, I'm always looking for new Navmesh volunteers. So if you've got experience in the CK and know how to Navmesh, then feel free to apply on our website. Do you know if there's any secret areas such as I am going to say I will let you find that out for yourself. I'm not going to confirm or deny. Because honestly, I don't know. all that we require on the Navmesh application is that you do show experience with the CK and proof of skill via an ESP or a plugin that you have personally made that involves Navmesh. And that goes for pretty much any department, by the way, guys. If you apply for any department in Skyblivion, we do require you to show proof of skill via a mod or something else similar. Most people will get best way of putting it, like looked over if you don't provide proof of skill. But yeah, as you can see, there is still some areas of Anvil that are being worked on and have no doors. So because, you know, doors are overrated. That's what it is. And most of this Navmesh I will be going over again and touching up. This is not going to be finalized Navmesh today. Yeah, this is the rough version. I always do a rough version and then I go through after the fact and clean up any mistakes. And plus, as I said earlier, Anvil is still in development, so it's not necessarily the final layout for a few things. So take it with a grain of salt how some of the Navmesh looks, because it is not finalized yet. There is gaps, like for example, there's like a wall piece missing here, so just take it what you see. There's the number of tries on the map, so yes and no. The best way I can just is Navmesh itself is rendered in game via your graphics card. So the graphics card in the background renders all of these triangles. So if you've got a ridiculous amount of triangles, it can take an FPS or two performance hit. It's really not terrible. But my team, my department even, try to keep it below 500 per cell. Obviously, sometimes that's not possible. Like at the moment, we're on 300 for this cell, but we try and keep it around 500-ish per cell. But for example, I navmeshed the vineyards around Skingrad, and they have well over 1,000 triangles per cell. So there's some instances that you can get away with it, some instances you can't. So that target is based on our expectations of Navmesh. It's nothing, no targets that are set by the creation kit, the engine. That is our own personal, like, internal target. Is the best way I can say that. How big can a So triangles technically can be big, as big as possible. However, if they are too big, you do start to experience some very, very strange pathing issues that can occur. As I said earlier, the NPCs will generally gravitate. If they're not doing anything, they would, and they haven't got a marker or something similar, they will tend to generate. They will tend to gather right in the center of the triangle. So if an NPC has a triangle that's like this big, they will stand pretty much smack bang in the center if they haven't got a package or a schedule. So if it is too big, NPCs can be a bit interesting in the way they move and path, but generally speaking, there's not really a hard limit on triangle size. I hope that answers your question. Kind of, yes. The smaller the triangle, the definitely the more granular the pathing can be, but it's a balance between finding that it's just a balancing act between finding the right amount of triangles, which is what we say 500 is a good estimate to go for, because it forces you to not put too many large triangles down. So yeah. It's not a hard limit, so don't take my word as gospel, shall we say. No. I'm more than happy to answer as many questions as possible. More than happy. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna say something probably a bit weird, but I don't think, in general, there's no such thing as a bad question. Because at the end of the day, if we repeat ourselves, or you don't know something, it helps you out, essentially. So I don't think there's really any such thing as a truly bad question. More than happy to answer what I can. And what I can't answer, there is I'm pretty sure there would be some Skyblivion developers in chat right now, so they will be able to help me out if I misspeak or anything like that. So yeah, so you'll notice, like, I don't hide trees, I hide bushes. So for example, this bush here and all of these daisies, they don't have any collision on them, so the NPC won't get stuck on them. Our philosophy is generally like there's an issue here with this poking out, so don't worry about it. Irrigation, thank you for the follow, very much appreciated. Welcome on in. So yes, our philosophy in terms of bushes is, if an NPC or a player can walk through something, then an NPC should be able to follow them through it, to make it's essentially a fair fight, shall we say. because I think it would, like, I think we can all agree that if an NPC, if the player is running away from an enemy, and the enemy can't, and the player, I don't know, goes, okay, that looks a bit weird. Okay, that's the whole thing. If the player goes through a wall and the NPC all of a sudden can't follow them through that bush or something, then I think it would look a bit weird. Personally speaking, so we go by if the player can walk through something, then an NPC should be able to walk through it too. And that is way too many edges connecting to that point. We'll just move a few over. There we go. But yeah, I believe this is the first time that a city for Skyblivion has been showed off to be, well, shown off navmeshing wise. Usually we navmesh cities behind, let's say, closed doors. So this is like a bit of a preview of Anvil as well, because we haven't showed Anvil off. Other than the preview, and you've got Heavy Burns to thank for me being able to stream Navmeshing Anvil. But yeah, with most cities, especially like Coral and stuff like that, I navmeshed those, essentially behind closed doors. I said navmesh is not the most glamorous thing, but it is a very necessary thing. Right stuff. When you come up to a spot you've already navmeshed, notice that you overlay that with... So these are the cell borders. I'll show you what this does in a second. So these are the cell borders between the two cells. Each cell is a triangle in Skyrim, as you currently know. So when we come up to join in the borders, you can't navmesh over the borders. You can only navmesh up to the borders. When you hit the green tick up here on the navmesh toolbar, this toolbar, the border will go green, and they will stitch those borders together, and that green bar will basically allow the NPCs to cross from one what we call a navmesh island. So this entire green area is a navmesh island. This entire green little bit here is another. It will allow them to travel between the various Navmesh islands. But the cell needs to be finalized before they can do that. Yeah, pretty much. But they obviously don't teleport like the doors. They just walk over it normally. And now we're hitting another border. As you can see, I can't drag this vertice past the border. You can only go so far. Yeah, as soon as you get up to the border, it basically stops you. Like, you physically can't. As much as you want to try, there is no way of doing it. Unless you obviously turn on clipping, then you probably could do it in a weird way. Okay, that's the border up there. You can't let them walk on the grass. Hey? The player can walk on it, so why can't the NPC walk on it? Plus, as I was explaining earlier, after the fact that I've done this, I'm going to be setting up preferred pathing on the second pass of Anvil. And basically what preferred pathing does is it allows you to say you wanted this to be like the road that NPCs can walk up. Say you wanted this to be the road. We can set it as a preferred pathing, so it's now orange. And that basically tells the NPCs to try and stick to that path if they're going between houses. But that will be done on my second pass of Anvil. But I can show you that in action if you want. If I can show you that on a city that is already done. Namely Coral, which is where our latest gameplay video took place. And I will say, most of the interiors that you saw today, they were done by some fantastic people on the project, and just the team in general really pulled together to be able to show a lot of what we showed off today. So yeah, that is essentially what we've done just now. Since we started streaming, we essentially have just navmeshed this entire area in about half an hour actually. So smaller triangles let you make that more strict? Yes, in a way, yeah. So currently Anvil is... There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. No. 5 cells of Anvil left to Navmesh. It's what you do to make sure Anvil's on the road and not in the bushes. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you enjoyed ModCon. But yeah, if you want to take a look at Anvil's Navmesh so far, it's a bit disjointed because not all the area is joined up yet, but that is essentially Anvil's Navmesh, like, so far. In the current state, there is all of these cells missing just here. There's 5 cells missing just here, and then the entire dock area just here. But as I said, the dock area is not finished yet, so I can't really show that off. But if you guys want to see, let's go to Coral, how the Navmesh actually looks when it's all finished. I can show you how it is when it's more finished and in a finalized state. Let me load Coral in. Right, so this is Coral, as viewed from above, which you guys have not seen yet. This is how the Navmesh actually looks in Coral. So as you can see, there's a lot of different colours and different areas. So I guess we'll start at the front gate. As you can see, there's a blue triangle. That is part of the door marker right here. And that obviously allows, as soon as an NPC hits the blue triangle, they can obviously enter and exit the cities as they wish, so to speak. The reason why it's blue is because there's preferred pathing underneath. So if the preferred pathing wasn't there, it would be green. But yeah, as you can see, the path that we have selected in Coral is only on the main roads. So it goes to the entrance, it goes over to the castle area, and it goes over to the chapel. It doesn't go much further. It's mainly the high street in Coral. Now, in terms of water, what you can activate is water triangles, where water actually is. So if I switch to Navmesh off, you can see there's a pond here behind some of the houses. So when you mark it as or flag it as a water triangle, NPCs will know it's water, and if their package doesn't allow them to swim or allow them to enter the water, they will avoid it like the plague. If it was just normal Navmesh, they would just walk straight into the water and wouldn't care. So in regards to the borders, these are the borders that you were talking about earlier. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Perscom, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so this is the stitching. So these like boxes allow the NPCs to walk between one triangle and the next, one cell to the other. These pink boxes, NPCs don't know how to jump down from things. They definitely any circumstances can't jump up things, but you can select, let's say I wanted an NPC to jump down this ledge. You can select both ledges, the top one first, and then that one. And then you can link those so the NPCs will know it's safe to jump down from there. Now, the problem with that is the NPCs themselves, they don't know how high something is. If you put that jump link at the top of the mountain and right at the bottom, the NPC will just jump off it and die. They don't care. They're like lemmings. They'll just jump off the cliff if you tell them to. So, essentially, we only put, in Skyblivion, we only put these jump links in if the NPC can safely jump off that ledge and not take any damage. That's like what we've strived to do with the jump links. So, yeah. Basically, with Navmeshing and NPCs, their life is really essentially in your hands. All of these different coloured edges, so these white ones and blue ones, they've got a bit of, that's basically the cover. So the white ones is max height cover. So that tells basically like the NPCs that there is a wall here. The blue ones are different units of cover. So for example, if we select one, we open it up, that is 64 units of cover, which is about this high. So it's only a short unit. So for example, if you're in let's say an archery fight, the NPCs will know how far, how tall an object is, and if they can like duck behind it in terms of cover. So that's basically what all the different color triangles are. For example, that was 64 units. If we select this one, this is 96, so it's a slightly higher piece of cover. And if you wanted to do it manually, which I don't recommend, you can obviously select all of these units of cover. And if it's a ledge that's quite high up, we can select ledge cover, and that will basically allow the NPCs to know that they're on a high ledge and that the line of sight is going to be mostly covered. So that is that's basically cover in a nutshell, so to speak. So as you saw earlier with the ModCon stream with Arana, this is the way into the Mages Guild, and as you can see, the NPCs can enter the Mages Guild if they need to. You do it manually. There is an automated process. So on the Navmesh toolbar, there's this little button here. I'm not going to press it, but basically click it, and it does it all automatically. Doing it by hand is a real pain, and it's very easy to do wrong if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know or have any reference to how high something is, you can really mess it up very quickly. So it's best in this regard to let the creation kit auto-generate cover by itself. Now this cover is a bit special just because I let the creation kit generate it, and then I went round and cleaned it up manually so it looks a lot cleaner than cover would normally be. So yeah, this is yeah, as I said, this is coral, and yeah, so you can't, so you click it, tool did it for you. So yeah, and if it's all correct, maybe do some manually fixing. So for example, I will say, see this edge here, it's max cover, so it's the maximum height it can be. The creation kit sometimes does this, where it separates all of these edges into, and it's just like there's no reason for it to be like that. So to clean it up, we go through mainly the max cover, and just reset the max cover. Just to make it a bit cleaner. Because the creation kit does like to go through and put a bunch of unnecessary vertices in areas. Yeah, the auto nav mesh itself in the creation kit is a bit but the cover we always do it automatically because there's no reason for it to be done manually because it's generally okay. In terms of automation, the creation kit generally does it pretty good. The more I learn about Navmeshing, the more parallels I see to video rotoscoping. Yeah, you can say that, yeah. But yeah, this is Coral from our latest video. And yeah. That is the Navmesh from it. Now let me find the coordinates for immediately outside Coral. And then I can show you minus 18 1820 minus 1820. Okay, minus 1820. So this is outside of Coral. Same deal. There's no difference between Navmeshing the outside and the inside at all. It's pretty similar. Let me get the front door of Coral quickly, which is just here. It really is. Navmeshing around trees? It's an interesting one, shall we say. So I'm just waiting for the cells to load on the exterior Coral, and I'll show you what the exterior parts look like. Because I can demonstrate the ledge cover on the outside. And there we go. first crash of the stream, which is fine because I saved the I did save before we exited Anvil, so it's no worries at all. Let me disable the Anvil plugin, but I did save before we did leave Anvil. But yeah, yeah, I hope you are enjoying the stream. Thank you again for all the follows. Be sure to obviously follow Kyle at Rebel's Eyes. And I hope, even though we don't teach Navmesh, I hope it gives you an insight to how Navmesh works. I'm not very clear with certain things and how I say things, but hopefully it makes sense. Yes. I don't get a lot of crashing in the CK, but because we have been switching between different areas of the game, that's the reason why it's crashing. And I can show you some of the Navmesh from the stream as well, the ModCon stream, because I think that would be some very cool things to look at. What was it, minus 1820? I think. Let's go minus 1522. What was the first location you navmeshed for Skyblivion? My first location was the let me refresh this. My first location was in the Clovian Highlands. And it was outside. Let me see if I can find it. This is just the Oblivion map, by the way. So my first area that I did in the Cloven Highlands was pretty much just here. It was in this area up here where in Oblivion there was a small lake. And it did have a cave, I'm pretty sure, attached to it, but I don't know what that cave was called. But it was just there. That was the remaster. That was the remaster claim. So this is the Navmesh for the immediately outside Coral. So as you can see, most of the fences around Coral are have got like the cover associated with it. Here's the derpy dancing horse from the stream, as you probably saw. It's meant to be attached to this carriage, but for whatever reason it doesn't quite line up. But as we were speaking earlier about the ledge cover, this is what ledge cover looks like. It's a very light blue, and that basically says that if an NPC is on this ledge, they're generally safe cover-wise, because the Navmesh below it is quite a distance, so they're generally safe to duck and hide from cover. Yeah, so the horse, let's say like this horse here is probably supposed to be here, and it's supposed to be attached to the carriage, but yeah, it doesn't attach right, and then it starts walking. So yeah, it's interesting. But as you can see, I'll show you actually Odal Farm. Are you looking forward to any other modding projects shown today? Honestly, I'm interested in pretty much all of the modding projects to take a look at them, especially Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil, because with us remaking Cyrodiil, it will be interesting to see what another modding projects take on the exact same region we're working on. So especially Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil, I think that would be a really good area to explore once it's done. But honestly, I hate to say it, I've never played Morrowind. So out of all the other projects, I'm really excited to play Skywind, which is obviously showcasing tomorrow. So with this is Odal Farm, which is where the killing fields take place. Now, the thing is, with Odal Farm, there's two states that the farm can be in. There can be the ruined state, which is what this is. This is the ruined version of the farm right now. And there is also the good version of the farm, which is the rebuilt version, where the sheep are not dead and stuff like that. That's basically done by an enable-disable parent, and these yellow boxes are nav cuts. So basically, as you can see, the nav mesh goes straight through these fences, and it goes straight through certain objects. Now basically what nav cuts do is, when the farm is in the fixed state or the ruined state, it basically cuts out the nav mesh and it disables this area of the nav mesh, so that when it's in its broken state, the goblins and that can still walk straight through the fence, but when it's in its fixed state, then the goblins can't walk through it, or NPCs can't walk through it. So nav cuts are just a way of being like, oh, these can, you can walk through this at a certain point, but on other points you can't. So when the fence is broken, you can walk through here. When it's fixed, you can't. So that's essentially what nav cuts do, and that's how the Killing Fields quest works. Is when the farm's broken, the nav cuts are activated, and it basically stops the NPCs walking through XYZ. So, yeah. What is a ruin? So, Odal Farm, just a fun fact, Odal Farm itself was the second thing I ever navmeshed in Skyblivion. So this area is a year and a half old in terms of my work. And my work has obviously since got way better than what it is currently. So in terms of interiors, I'll tell you what, let's do Pillaged Mine. Let me find it quickly. So Pillaged Mine. I can't remember who. Let me find out who navmeshed it quickly. Because it was someone else from our navmesh team that navmeshed this. And this will be the last thing that we really show off, but Pillaged Mine was done by Leah. And this is the navmesh, how it looks inside a cave. Let me get rid of this, these pink boxes, because they're just bounding boxes, so don't worry about it. So this is Leah's navmesh. There's quite a few of us on the navmesh team, and this is where you saw the elevator go down, just here in the ModCon stream. So the navmesh is actually navmeshed as if it's at the bottom and if it's at the top. So, but yeah, this is how the inside of Pillaged Mine that was shown in ModCon actually works. Yes, it was done by Rin. And I believe Rin is extremely proud of the elevator in Pillaged Mine. But yeah, this is how the navmesh is. It looks exactly the same as the exterior navmesh as well, so it's not too dissimilar, shall we say? Not too different. Probably need to watch the gameplay trailer. This was shown off in the ModCon stream. Quite near the middle of the stream, I think, actually. But yeah, this was done by Leah, and we've got a group of quite a few navmeshers, so yeah. That's how Pillaged Mine looks. And then last area that I think I'll show off is is the Grey Mare, which is the location of where the killing fields start, and pretty much the Fingers of the Mountain ends with Arana. And this is how interiors look in terms of the Grey Mare's Navmesh. And as you can see, there's the door marker, the green door marker triangle right there. Very simple, very quick to actually Navmesh this stuff. I had a lot of experience Navmeshing and using the creation kit in general. I used to make mods for myself though, so it was, yeah, it was mainly for myself that I modded. And the interior was done by Glitz, who is currently in chat, sorry. It was made by Glitz, QA'd by Rin, Navmeshed by me. That's the second floor Navmesh is satisfying. Yeah, because if you're going to steal the book for the killing floor, you need to go upstairs. That's all I'm going to say. How's Navmesh and Deadlands coming along? We haven't started Navmeshing the Deadlands yet, I will say. We've still got a good chunk of the exterior world space and a good chunk of the interiors to work on before we start with the Deadlands. Because we want to get the exterior world space done so the quest department can go ahead, jump in, test quests and all that good stuff. So yeah. Yeah. So there's still quite a lot of work, and as I said earlier on, if you have experience in the creation kit and can prove that you can Navmesh to a similar quality standard as how we Navmesh in Skyblivion, then feel free to upload an ESP with your application on our website, and I will take a look at it and get back to you with our Skyblivion Navmesh test. So yeah. I think space, but they're shitloads of as long as Navmesh it, but that's why I say, yeah, any ESPs that can prove that you can Navmesh, we will definitely take a look at, and then you will have to Navmesh our Skyblivion test. Oh, I haven't got the Anvil plugin loaded. I'll take a stab and watch them through. I highly recommend a guy called Dark Fox on YouTube for any tips regarding to Navmesh or the creation kit in general. Like that fence that disappears mid-quest. Yeah, that is something that you don't necessarily need to know about for Skyblivion Navmesh, because all of the nav cuts and the and that sort of thing are done by myself and our build manager, so that it doesn't get messy. So won't get one from me, lol. Although it looks like, yeah, it's very chill. Honestly, it's very chill. It's very chill just to open up the creation kit, bash some Navmeshing on, put some Navmeshing on, and just go ham on it. And then before you know it, it's like 4 hours later. So, yeah. Yeah, for sure. It is definitely less intimidating than it initially seems. That is for sure. So yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to come down with a proper workflow for it though. Yeah, it's the workflow aspect of it is you learn it in time. You learn it in time. My workflow is jump in game, check out the area in game, and then I navmesh it. I add in all of the triangle flags, add in the jump points, draw the cover, finalize the cell, jump in game, make sure there's no quirks with the NPCs, and then I ship it off to our build manager, who Robert, who then puts it into the build. So that's sort of my personal workflow, with things, shall we say. But yeah, I think I am actually going to call it there for today. I've been thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting our ModCon video and supporting the project. It means a lot to all of us working on Skyblivion. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe to Kyle and Rebel's Eyes on YouTube and Twitch, so you are up to date with the latest trailers and gameplay videos, and even on Twitter, follow Skyblivion and all of that good stuff. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. We only got one cell done in terms of Navmesh, but one cell is better than none, I will say. But yeah, and I hope you liked the thanks. You got to thank Heavy Burns for allowing me to show off sneak peeks of Anvil. Obviously, it's not in game, so you don't get the full effect. But yeah, I very much appreciate everyone being here. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for supporting again. Thank you for supporting the project. Very much appreciated. And thank you for hanging out. And thank you for giving me all of your questions and something to talk about for the last nearly 2 hours. So very much appreciated. I will try and stream a little bit more, maybe once a week. I know I've been gone for about 2 months, but I'll try to stream a little bit more, but can't promise immediately. But yeah, if you want to watch any of my Skyblivion streams, I think there's like 40 of them on YouTube, probably 50 of them actually. So feel free to check out YouTube. But yeah, very much appreciate it, guys. I don't know if there's anyone else live that I can pass you off to. Let me have a look. I don't think so. That's playing Skyrim or the Creation Kit or in one of the other projects. I cannot see anyone. So yeah, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for hanging. And hopefully this has given you a little bit of insight into how the Navmesh is done, created, and the entire development project for Navmesh within Skyblivion. Very much appreciate you hanging out, and yeah, I will see you later, and I'll hope to be back soon, and yeah, enjoy, and yeah, thank you for all the support. Very much appreciated. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for sticking by. And see you soon. Bye bye.